This is Mongoose Jake, and I'm going to talk a little bit about the Tektro Draco hydraulic disc brake. Now this is very comparable to the Origa comp that used to be on a number of bikes, and you still may see it pop up from time to time. I'm going to show you a little bit about the reservoir here. Very easy to service. Haven't had to yet. This came very well bled from the factory. Of course, this is on my Tiex Elite, and been riding this bike since February, and thought it was time to start doing some of the component reviews. Of course, most of the components have been replaced, but this is one that I liked enough, wanted to keep it. And to give you a quick look, there's your lever and reservoir. Here's the front caliper. Then moving on to the rear caliper. Of course, this does not even have the stock rotors, as I switched to some super light Originate rotors. Now, one thing this does have, it does have a lever reach adjustment. It is not toolless. It is with a small Allen wrench. It's a 2.5 millimeter. Stick it in there and you can actually adjust your lever engagement point. I said lever reach to begin with. That's actually engagement. My mistake verbally there. But it is the engagement. You can help set it to where it will engage sooner or later, so that when it engages, your lever can be either further out from the bar or closer in. That is what that serves. And it uses mineral oil, as you can read for yourself if the Sony Bloggy will decide to zoom in. With auto zoom, I don't control that. But it's a fairly light brake. It's not going to win any weight contest. But what I've been so impressed with this brake is the modulation. Which modulation, for those who don't know, is the ability to control how quickly you stop without skidding your tire. Because those of you out there who say that you judge brakes by how well you can lock it up, skidding is never a good way to stop a bike. You're actually out of control when you're sliding, and damages the trail, which that's a whole other topic. I hate the people who skid up the trails. It causes erosion, ends up ruining trails, and we've even had one of my more favorite trails close in the past 10 years that I used to ride a number of years ago fairly often, closed due to trail damage and user conflicts. But half of the reason was from trail damage from mountain bikers who got out there and ruined the trails and eroded out the corners, and the maintenance crews simply didn't want to keep up with it anymore. Now, but not to rant, the Draco offers modulation equivalent to much more expensive brakes, and the modulation allows you to control your brakes even with a more efficient tire such as the Nano, or maybe the small block 8 from Kenda, or even some of the Max Light tires from Maxxis. Those tires do not have a overabundance of traction, but require good skill in bike handling and braking. These Dracos offer that. They offer you the modulation. Now, in pure outright power, there are other brakes out there that are a little bit better. My Avid Elixirs are a little bit better and still offer most of the modulation, but then again, you're looking at $100 per brake or more. Whereas these generally come on bikes that are $1,000 or roundabout, and or you can buy these aftermarket for about $70 to $80 per brake, where the Avid Elixir start at about $105 to $120 and go all the way up to $300 per brake from there. So a great value brake. For those of you who are still hanging around on mechanical disc brakes, give those things up. Mechanical disc brakes, a good set, like the Avid BB7s. I've used those. They are good, but at $50 to $60 per wheel, they do not offer enough of a savings, in my opinion, over something, say, as a Draco, to justify sticking with mechanical brakes. And if you're building a bike from scratch, there's no reason to buy a mechanical, because most of the price advantage will be lost, because you generally do not get that mechanical brake lever with the brake price. So a $60 BB7 brake, you actually need to go ahead and add a brake set to that, brake lever set, which is going to cost you $25 So in the end, you have paid 60 per brake, so 120, and then on top of that, you pay 25 for the brake levers. That's, you know, 140, and then you got to go buy a set of cables, which even a cheap set of cables is going to be $10 to $20. So again, you're up there right with the same price as buying a set of these Tektro Dracos for about $70 or $80 per brake. So all in all, you can see where I'm leaning. This is about the best budget brake out there. Now if you can find a set of elixirs on sale, I'm still going to rate the elixirs as a little bit better than the Dracos, and I have seen the Avid elixirs on sale for around $60, $70, and in that case I'm going to say that these would lose out. But for those of you who have these on your bike, it's a smooth performing brake. If you're looking to buy a bike with these on it, this actually would be one of the strong points, not a weakness. Tektro hasn't had a big name reputation, but in my opinion they should, because this brake has really held its own throughout this whole riding season, and I have rode this bike hard. I've put on many miles in some very difficult situations for the brakes, some long downhills, and they have held up very, very impressively. This is Mongoose Jake. If you have any questions, comments, leave them in the section below.